Welcome back, everybody, and we are heading back to Temple Island from the other direction, off of Crater Island, to solve the massive Golden Dome power puzzle. However, we need to kind of get up to the top of the dome first before we can do anything of this sort. This is actually something I should have done when I was on Crater Island the first time, which is lower this bridge and extend a catwalk, but yeah, I forgot about that last time, so I'm going to do it now and take care of this whole Temple Island business while we're here. But yeah, before I extend the catwalk, we're gonna go this way, and we're gonna raise up the elevator that is clearly missing from this walkway here. So where's the switch? Well, you just turn around behind you and press this little button. Some freaky looking sounding sounds later, and you have a walkway piece, and you can continue on your merry way. But we are not going that way just yet. We're going to extend the catwalk, so now we have full access to all parts of the Golden Dome. And we are going to actually do a couple things before we get up to the overall Golden Dome puzzle. And one of them is figuring out what the symbol is for Temple Island. And if you recall, this is like the one island, or the one island we've been to, where we haven't found the actual spinning dome. So we don't know what the symbol is associated with this island. And as a result, we don't know what color. So now that the platform is raised, this button is now usable. So now we can go to a lower floor that we weren't able to access before. And just like that, we're able to access the final dome on the 4 islands we've been to. This one's easy enough. You just wait for the sound to finish playing and then hit the button. And it looks like a circle with a dot in the middle. Yep, and if we go back to our notes that we made, that is meaning that the color of this island is green. So let's recap what we know. Temple Island is green. Jungle Island is red. Spire Island is orange. Crater Island has the symbol of the circle with the vertical line, but we have no idea what its color is. And then there's a aforementioned unknown 5th island, which we don't know the symbol nor the color for that island, so we're going to have to guess there. So, barring any symbols we haven't found, it looks like we have a symbol for a blue color, and we have a symbol for a orange color, and yeah, we don't, and a symbol for a purple color. So we need to figure out, how they all fit together in the overall puzzle. So we're going to elevate this bridge into some stairs, and then we're going to have to do some fancy footwork around Temple Island to get back up these stairs from the other direction. I hope everyone's been following me so far on this massive power puzzle, because there's a lot of clues and hints to keep in mind. I mean, you literally have to have pencil and paper to solve this thing. So now we come into the rotating room puzzle from a completely new area, and the door that was there earlier that we couldn't get through, we now are able to have it opened, and now we have complete and free access to all 4 entrances to the rotating room. And sure enough, we can enter the room, but it's not the actual entrance we want. We want to spin it 2 more times so that we can actually go out the entrance where, if you were to head down the stairs, you get to that ice cream telescope. So that's ultimately the configuration we want this room to be in at the moment. And unfortunately, we need to spin this room around 2 more times before we, are able to access the actual puzzle mechanism to provide power for the books spread across the islands. And here's a little bit of trivia for you too. When you're viewing the rotating room from this particular angle, it actually takes longer in animation than if you are to go from any of the other entrances and press the button while facing the wall. The sound effect is actually shorter in duration. So just an interesting little trivia fact that. And here it is, the biggest macro puzzle of the entire game. Holy crap, look at that. You got 6 color choices and a bajillion possible holes to put them in. So let's start with what we know, okay? So we're going to take the red, we're going to put it there for Jungle Island. Alright, so we know that's where that spinning dome is located for that island. Alright, let's see. We're going to take, for Temple Island, we're going to put green and we're going to put it there. That's the location of the spinning dome for that island. So now we got to go for Spire Island, which would be orange. We're going to put it right there. So now we got to make a couple guesses here. So we're going to guess, it could be yellow, purple, blue, but we're going to guess Crater Island could possibly be purple. So let's put that where we found the spinning dome there. Now we're down to yellow and blue. Now, since the island is way out in the ocean, I'm just going to assume it's blue, just for kicks and giggles, and put the sphere there. So we're going to turn around, and we're going to hope this is the right combination. Okay, and then we press this little white button and see what happens. Ooh, booyah! We were correct. So that was the correct combination with a little guesswork involved for the overall puzzle. Man, that was confusing. But now you can hear in the background the slight humming. So the Golden Dome is just brimming with power. And so now we can go to pretty much any one of the books located on the 4 islands we've been to and link to Gehn, finally. So now that we're here, I had to skip ahead and splice a little bit, but we're here. And this is one of the last few times we have to do this number puzzle here with the little sticks. But now we should expect power to be delivered to these books, and should be able to see an actual image now when we open it. Ooh, that looks pretty. In a sort of like depressing, ominous way. I mean, that looks hardly safe to live in. And so the makeup of this world that he's linked to kind of denotes the type of writing ability that Gehn has. He doesn't seem to have the sufficient writing ability to link to beautiful and awe-inspiring worlds, unlike Atris. So it kind of gives you an idea of his writing style. And of course, you're trapped behind bars. Gehn is not taking any chances here for anybody who happens to stumble across his books. But we're going to push this little button here, and we're going to finally meet face to face with Gehn and see what he's all about. Here he comes.
I apologize for the cage. I'm afraid this situation has often required of me a more primitive code of conduct than I might otherwise have chosen. I am Gehn. I assume you've heard of me. Yes. Well, I suspect you have acquired some false information of who I am now. Not that my son would have lied to you about me. No, not Atris. It's just that, well, I'm sure he believes me to still be the depraved father I once was. Yes. I even tried to kill him once. God, if I had accomplished that, who knows what I would have become. A great father indeed, who tries to murder his own son. Thankfully, he trapped me on age 5, a prison of my own creation. No books, no precious inks, no ages to link to, nothing but my own foolish ambitions. That was 30 years ago. 30 years, 30 lifetimes, what does it matter? No sentence could be too harsh for the man I was. But I have changed. To be sure, the deeds of my past can never be completely atoned for, but my mission was an honorable one. I'm sorry, this is all a bit awkward. It's been a long time since I've attempted to persuade anyone of my intentions. Most of the people here have already made their minds up about me one way or another. I myself do not trust the words of most men, so I don't expect you to believe me. In the end, though, you may discover that I do have more than mere words to offer. Atris's choice of punishment has been hard on the people of Riven, and many have suffered because of it. The island has been steadily decaying for years, but according to my most recent measurements, it appears that the 5th age has entered its final days. Unless the villagers can be relocated soon, the island will collapse entirely and everyone will perish. It has taken me a long time to do it, but it appears that finally I'll be able to make some substantial amends to my past transgressions, especially in, well, I'm afraid I've had some trouble with Catherine and the moiety. In any society, there will always be a small percentage of the population with rebellious tendencies. Before Catherine appeared, the moiety, as they call themselves, had been relatively harmless. I mean, the natives here are a fairly violent people by nature, but I'd almost come to accept their presence. It seemed inevitable under the circumstances. Upon Catherine's return, however, their violence intensified considerably. It seems she's become some sort of religious savior to them. And as far as I can tell, she's come to believe this herself. So I've had no alternative. I had to separate her from her people. I must admit, though, that my concerns were not entirely for her safety alone. The actions of Catherine and the moiety have put my own life at risk on numerous occasions. Consequently, the lives of all the people here. Therefore, I must ask you to refrain from any attempt to free her. Although I'm sure Atris desires it. Indeed, he must desire it with all his heart. But he is completely unaware of her recent state. Which brings me to the point of all of this. The linking book you brought with you. You're very fortunate to have recovered it. If I may. Thank you.
Oh yeah, look at him, look at that book. He almost can't believe his eyes. And of course, he doesn't believe it at first. He's looking through the book, reading through the script, making sure everything is checking out. He wants to be absolutely sure before he decides to place his hand on that book. Gehn is nothing if not thorough and cautious. He almost believes this is an actual linking book back to Dunny. I mean, you can just feel him. He's just considering putting his hand on it. But logic gets the better of him, and he thinks up of a different idea.
Perhaps it would be best if you went through first. You may need some time to decide. That is reasonable. Until then, as a token of my good intentions, I will allow you free access to my linking books, crude though they may be, and to the rest of the Fifth Age. Please understand, there is nothing I want more than a chance to resolve matters between Atris and myself, especially in light of what has become of Catherine. But unless you are willing to demonstrate to me that your intentions are honorable, I cannot risk it. The sanctuary I've been writing for the Islanders is nearly complete. After all these years, it would be a shame if I were unable to finish it. The work I am doing is quite demanding. Please don't signal me unless you've decided to use the book. The switch will reset itself once you link from here.
So how much you really believe of Gehn really depends on how much you know of the man based on what you've discovered through Riven, through the Age of Riven. So he made a pretty convincing argument there as to his nature. But if you look at this, hey, this looks like a book to the only island we haven't been to yet. Could be this the island that Catherine is being held on? Well, no time like the present to find out. And you also can confirm on this island the actual symbol of this one, which would later, I found out after looking online, that this island is called Prison Island, because that's basically what it is. It's moved away far enough from the other four islands that it kind of could be like a prison, because there's nothing surrounding it but water. So even if she could escape whatever Gehn put her in, Catherine couldn't get very far. There's not much to this island. There's the massive tree we saw on Spire Island when we looked at the metal relief. But this seems to be definitely a structure of some sort for a home for someone to live in. But if you go deeper, you look like you're in the jail. But you look at this little device, and each button makes a specific sound. There's nothing you can do right now to solve that little puzzle, but just keep it in mind for later. But for the moment, you're going to be able to see Catherine for the very first time in the span of 2 games. You've heard about her in Myst, you've heard about her in this game, and now you're finally about to meet her in person.
Yafe Adik. You made it. But how'd you get past Gehn? He must really believe I've gone mad. I know what he's doing. He's watching you. He's waiting for you to make a mistake. He's hoping you'll lead him back to Dunny. You can't let Gehn... Atris sent you to save me. But if Gehn gets back to Dunny, he'll kill him. I think I know how to signal Atris, but it's going to take both of us. You'll have to trap Gehn before you can get the combination. Be careful. Go then. If you won't help me, then I have nothing more to say.
Now, when I first played this game, I was really confused as to why all of a sudden she changed her demeanor and is like, go then, I don't care, just leave. When she was talking all about, trying to help save her, and save the people of Riven. But if you kept looking at her body language, she was looking up at some sort of camera that was that's been watching her. And if you recall from Spire Island, when you're up, messing with the wark with all those lights and everything, the left monitor actually had a video feed right into this room. So she knows she's being watched. Now, I don't know if she's being recorded, and I don't think she knows she is either, because I don't recall there being any sound when viewing the feed from her prison room. But she doesn't know that, so she's trying every effort to keep subtle about making plans with you. So that would be the reason why she seemed a little standoffish towards the end there. Because when I first played it, I had no idea that's what she was doing. So she's pretty clever. You have to give Catherine a lot of respect for what she's been able to accomplish here in Riven, right underneath Gehn's nose. She is resourceful, I can say that much about her. Okay, now if it's the one thing I really don't like about Riven as a game, it's just you have to just sit and wait through these animations of the ages before it allows you to touch the image and transport to that age. So we're going to have to wait for this entire video to decide, like, hey, it's now time for you to click on it before I actually can. So kind of annoying, and I wish they could have sped it up after the first time, but what you going to do? Okay, now that we're back in Gehn's room, we should push the switch again, and this time we will take his offer and enter the trap book ourselves. I know that seems kind of like a suicidal option, but it is literally the only way to convince Gehn that what you're saying is real, even though it's of course a blatant lie.
I'm relieved you've returned. I thought perhaps you had decided against it. Here, I shall follow you directly.
And that's it. We are trapped in the book. Now all we have to do is wait for Gehn to take the bait and replace us. So we're outside the book and he's trapped in it. He doesn't look very happy. That looks like his weapon, too. So he's coming in armed. Oh, dear. Come on. Do it. Do it! Do it! Yes! Haha! And just like that, everybody, we have trapped Gehn. He is now no longer an issue and not even a problem anymore. Now all that's left is to save Catherine and signal Atris, and we will do that in the next video. Until then, see you later.